So far this season, the Arch Manning madness hasn't quite taken off as most of us expected in year one as a starter. One of the preseason favorites when it comes to the Heisman. His last game against UTEP, 11 completions for $114, but there was some bad as well. He had 10 straight incompletions, along with that an interception in the end zone, which led to some boos raining down there in Austin. But after the game, taking full ownership, saying, "I've got to play better." So it can only go up from there. But take a look at this. Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward chiming in on social and sharing some support for him and saying, "I know the feeling, Arch Manning. I got booed and benched several times in 1992. Keep putting in the work and trusting your work. As you learn from these experiences, you have a Heisman in your future. Just keep growing from each game." All right, from those words, the man himself tapping in with us here on HQ, Charlie Ward, appreciate your time. I want to go back to that moment there. You decided to send a message to Arch. What did you see from him in that moment, knowing that he could use maybe that pick-me-up there?
Well, when you've gone through different experiences and you see someone else going through it, you just want to offer some support because, there are a lot of people out there, killing him about his play and like he doesn't recognize that he's not playing well. Just to be able to offer some words of encouragement and hope that, you can overcome where you are. I just saw my story. I wasn't in the Manning family. I didn't come in with a lot of height in a lot of ways, but height meaning, being recognized the way he's been recognized, coming in as a true freshman. But I just know, that those first years, my first few games as a quarterback, they weren't stellar. Unfortunately for us, I had a very good defense and we were winning games. And I had opportunities to overcome some of those things with game-winning touchdowns and what have you. But I struggled, throwing interceptions, making bad decisions as well. But the one thing that I saw when I saw he got booed and what have you, I just immediately went back to, 92 when I was struggling and I actually got booed at home. And that was one of the reasons why I reached out to him.
When we talk about Archie, you mentioned there, of course, he comes from that pedigree, the Manning family, the build up to this point for him being QB1. But as you mentioned, and we all know, you've played the position at the highest level. I'm curious, what have you seen from Arch in terms of progression? Because we always know there's a next level to this, and he has shown, at least mentally, that he wants to get there.
Well, just the highlights that you guys showed just a few minutes ago, I mean, they were wide open guys that he's just actually missing. And so it just goes back to, we have a saying that I've adopted, reps removed out. And so the more reps he gets, in game-like situations, he'll be able to, overcome. But biggest hurdle is always going to be mentally. Just the mental grind when you're not playing well and then people on top of it, not encouraging you. It's not everyone, but, you hear those that aren't encourage you louder in a lot of ways. And so I just think he has the right mindset, going when it comes to, I got to get better. Just that alone kind of helps him understand and know that he's not playing up to his potential or his expectations, and he has to continue to put in the work.
When you talk about potential and expectations, I know the game has changed since you were a part of it, but now we're seeing guys coming at 5 stars. The game is now more of a business in terms of the transfer portal. The expectations of, we don't have time to groom you into QB1 over 3 or 4 years. I need you to be that guy day one. And just taking a look at some of the guys across the college landscape here who are brought in to be the winner, to lead to a championship. How much pressure have you noticed on this next gen of QBs?
Well, I mean, the pressure is no different. Regardless of what era you came in, it depends on your expectations. I know when I was at Florida State, our expectation was to win, win. And that's everyone's expectation, especially if you want to be successful. That's regardless of where you are. So the expectations and the pressure is going to always be there if that's your goal, which is at the end of the day is to win a game or win a championship. And you just have to do your part. Like I've always said, I was one of, 11 on the field at any given time, and I just had to do my part. And unfortunately, I was in the quarterback position. Is the leader of the group. You're the one that's throwing the football, making all the checks, doing the different things. And so I just think this is really his first time playing quarterback. And there are a lot of guys like that, but every story is not the same. So he has time to be able to get it figured out. What I mean by time is, they're going to give him multiple opportunities to get it figured out because it's this year. And I think he'll get it figured out. But the biggest hurdle, as I said, is it's a mental grind. And if you're able to overcome that mental hurdle, then you can definitely make it work.
Charlie, here on HQ, we love to kind of pick the minds of those that have played the position and really just dial into it. I'm curious your perspective when it comes to those five-star guys. Some succeed and some don't. What are some reasons that, some are successful and others are not?
Well, I go back to it again. I don't think it's a physical deal. It's more mental than anything else. And also, the situation that you've been put in. At Texas, he has all the weapons he needs to be able to be successful. Offensive line, wide receivers, running backs. Then he has a very good defense. The crazy part about it is, he went on the road to play against Ohio State, and they only lost 14-7, which meant that their team is very good. They're playing a hostile environment. It's his first start, as a main guy. And of course, he didn't play to his ability that he would like to play. But I just know there's a lot of pressure coming in on five-star quarterbacks because they're quote unquote a five-star. But I just know you have to simplify the game and not put any more pressure on yourself to play at a certain level. But you just have to get in there, put your time in. Continue to put your time in the film room and make things work according to where you are.